Still looking at me. Why, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Multitasker, and welcome back again to another reaction. I'm alright. Just another busy day with the sun's heat that's unbearable. And I can imagine that tomorrow's going to be a little crazier, which I'm not looking forward to it. But I will take my medication just to requirements of relaxing and unwind, because lots of requests is going to be going on for tonight, from standard reaction to Dragon Ball Abridged to music, and that's what's going to be. And yes, I know, drinking plenty of water just to get through this, and don't you worry, I will. So hopefully I will survive the day. But for right now, let's go ahead and get started with the first request from Shadow, and which is I'm going to be reacting to, of the title known as the 5 Big WWE Rumors for this coming month of July. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little crazy. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. So without further ado, it's time to react.
Last night at Backlash 2020, Bobby Lashley came as close to winning the WWE Championship as he has ever been throughout his entire career, and it truly seemed as though the rumors of Bobby Lashley winning the title from Drew McIntyre at Backlash could have ended up coming true, especially after the surprise attack on Drew before the match even started, which gave Lashley a clear advantage to win, while keeping McIntyre strong in defeat considering it wouldn't have been a clean loss. However, as close as Bobby Lashley may have gotten to winning the gold, it was Bobby Lashley's wife Lana who ended up costing him the WWE title, as Lana unintentionally distracted Lashley from the match towards the end, which gave Drew McIntyre the opportunity to regroup and hit Lashley with an emphatic Claymore kick for the win. After the match, the WWE made it clear that the relationship between Lana and Bobby Lashley is coming to an end, and if a new leaked backstage rumor proves to be true, it looks as though Lana's relationship with the WWE in general may be coming to an end as well, with one new rumor shockingly revealing that Vince McMahon plans to release Lana after the Bobby Lashley storyline finishes, due to the fact the company have no plans for Lana moving forward, and now that MVP has taken over Lana's role as Bobby Lashley's manager, there is nothing left for Lana to do in WWE. For those of you unaware, the only reason why Lana wasn't released with the other superstars back in April was due to the fact Vince wanted the Bobby Lashley and Lana storyline to finish playing out on TV, but apparently, as soon as Rusev was released from the company, McMahon came to the conclusion that Lana's release would soon be following after the Bobby Lashley storyline wraps up. Fans can expect Bobby Lashley to inevitably break up with Lana in the coming weeks, with Lana then quietly getting fired from the WWE in early July, after a few weeks of not appearing on Monday Night Raw. One of our sources has mentioned that Lana has come to terms on her release, as she reportedly doesn't want to work for the WWE anymore, considering her husband Rusev is no longer with the company, especially taking into account the fact that both Rusev and Lana were unhappy with the way they had been treated by the WWE. Make sure you guys let us know if you will be sad after Lana's fired from the WWE, or do you think this is for the best, considering Rusev's no longer with the company and it doesn't seem as though there would really be anything for Lana to do on TV, thus making it seem rather pointless to keep Lana under contract? Much like how Bobby Lashley was close to winning the WWE title from Drew McIntyre at Backlash last night, it cannot be denied that perhaps even closer to a huge title victory were The Miz and John Morrison in their Universal Championship match against Braun Strowman. As we had predicted, this was a back-and-forth match with both Miz and Morrison and Braun Strowman having their high moments throughout the match, but there's no doubt most fans were extremely shocked when it seemed as though the possibility of The Miz and John Morrison becoming Universal Champions was potentially becoming a reality, because towards the end of the match, it seemed as though Miz and Morrison had a perfect moment to take the title away from the monster among men, but The Miz foolishly pulled John Morrison off the pin, thus ruining their chances of winning the gold, considering Braun shortly destroyed the two superstars afterwards, and retained his Universal title. As most of you would likely expect, this is reportedly the groundwork to The Miz and John Morrison splitting up, and it appears as though the rumors of John Morrison being the superstar to kickstart the breakup, with a massive heel turn, may be true. While The Miz may have sabotaged their chances of winning the Universal title, fans can expect The Miz to try apologizing to John Morrison for his big and costly mistake, but to no avail. Morrison will reportedly refuse the apology and proceed to dismantle The Miz, thus ending their partnership. Fans can expect a big feud to develop between the two former best friends on Friday Night SmackDown leading up to the upcoming Extreme Rules 2020 show, with one rumor speculating that after John Morrison defeats The Miz in their rivalry, Morrison will reportedly then advance to Intercontinental title contention, with one rumor speculating that John Morrison will be the superstar to finish AJ Styles' reign as the Intercontinental Champion at SummerSlam 2020. As we have stated before, Vince sees a lot of potential in John Morrison as a singles competitor on the Blue brand, so it shouldn't come as much of a shock that The Miz and Morrison will soon be breaking up, so that Morrison can slowly rise up the card to the main event. There's no doubt the current Money in the Bank briefcase holder Otis has had things going his way over the past few months, by not only winning such an extremely valuable briefcase that holds an opportunity at the Universal title at any given moment, but Otis finally managed to win Mandy Rose's affections, and Otis is now with the lovely Mandy Rose on Friday Night SmackDown, as the brand's big power couple. However, if new leaked backstage rumors prove to be true, Otis's moment of bliss may soon be coming to a screeching halt, as one rumor indicates that Vince McMahon has some big surprising plans for Otis as we continue to get closer to July 2020, and unfortunately, they aren't exactly spectacular for Otis. Apparently, a huge storyline twist Vince is currently considering would involve Mandy Rose turning heel on Otis next month, and shockingly costing Otis his briefcase cash-in on Braun Strowman. At first, it would appear as though Mandy would be helping Otis cash in, only to deliver the big man a surprise low blow, which inevitably costs Otis the briefcase and the opportunity of a lifetime. We have been told that McMahon would then have Mandy Rose rekindle her partnership with her former best friend Sonya Deville, and rather shockingly, announce to fans that they are now a couple, and have always had feelings for one another. For those of you unaware, Vince McMahon and the WWE have been wanting to have a romantic storyline between two women's division superstars for quite a while, in an effort to keep the WWE seeming modern and accepting to all ways of life, and backstage officials reportedly feel Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville would be able to pull off this storyline wonderfully, not to mention this would bring on lots of heat to the newly heel-turned Mandy Rose, and one source has mentioned that Mandy and Sonya would immediately be getting an opportunity at the SmackDown Women's Tag Team Championships from Bayley and Sasha Banks, and inevitably win the titles from Banks and Bayley, which would at the same time be the groundwork to the rivalry between Sasha Banks and Bayley heading into SummerSlam this year, where it is rumored that Bayley will be defending her SmackDown Women's title against her former best friend Sasha Banks, with Sasha rumored to win the title. The biggest talking point coming out of last night's Backlash 2020 show was definitely regarding the greatest wrestling match between Randy Orton and Edge, and at the end of the day, following a truly grueling and emotion-filled match, the Viper managed to slither away with the massive win over Edge at Backlash, and while the storyline between Edge and Randy Orton was rumored to have lasted well through the upcoming Extreme Rules 2020 event, and likely into SummerSlam as well, for those of you unaware, Edge suffered from an unfortunately timed tricep injury at Backlash, and the Rated R superstar will be sidelined for up to one full year from wrestling, which is truly unfortunate for fans. However, while Edge's best friend Christian will be continuing the storyline with Randy Orton on Edge's behalf for the immediate future, if a new leaked backstage rumor proves to be true, Edge's injury has caused Vince McMahon to make an absolutely huge change to the plans for not only Randy Orton, but the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre as well. As expected, had Edge not gotten injured last night, it's probable the finale to Edge's and Orton's rivalry would have taken place at SummerSlam, but now that Edge is no longer in the picture, fans can expect this storyline to finish up at Extreme Rules, with Orton rumored to absolutely dismantle Edge's best friend Christian, and then Vince reportedly plans for Randy Orton to become Drew McIntyre's new challenger for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam 2020, a storyline that Vince was actually planning, but much later in the year had Edge not gotten injured. Drew McIntyre will likely be successfully defending his WWE title against Bobby Lashley once again at Extreme Rules, but afterwards, one source has mentioned that the company will then move in the direction of Randy Orton setting his sights on Drew McIntyre for the second biggest show of the year, the superstar that will definitely pose as Drew's biggest challenge to date. While it's unknown if Orton will manage to win the WWE title, it's probable that Drew would retain the gold, considering Vince is still planning the big rematch between Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre sometime in the near future, with it probable that Lesnar will return at SummerSlam 2020 for a non-title match against Bobby Lashley, and after defeating Lashley, Brock would demand a rematch for the WWE title against Drew McIntyre, after Drew retains against Randy Orton in the main event of SummerSlam this year. While the WWE have tried their best to shift the main event scene on Friday Night SmackDown to the new top face of the brand in Braun Strowman, as most of you are likely aware, Braun's ascent to the top and a big Universal title win over Goldberg at WrestleMania 36 was certainly not originally in the cards, as this was the storyline penciled in for Roman Reigns, who unfortunately had to pull out of WrestleMania this year due to the uncertain circumstances, and has now been taking time off to avoid any risks. However, as you would likely expect, Vince McMahon has reportedly been quietly planning Roman Reigns' return to the WWE over the past few weeks, and although there have been some truly wild timelines on Roman's return speculated and rumored by multiple sources, apparently, Roman's return could very well be occurring within the next month, and quite possibly in July 2020, ahead of the Extreme Rules event. A new leaked backstage rumor has stated that Vince is considering the idea of having Roman Reigns surprisingly return unannounced on an episode of Friday Night SmackDown prior to Extreme Rules, to declare that he's back and wanting a title opportunity against Braun Strowman at the Extreme Rules show, in which Braun would accept, considering Strowman made it clear that Reigns is deserving and would get a title match when he returns. One of our sources has mentioned that Vince has been trying to make things extra safe for when Roman Reigns returns, with some special safety measures in place where Roman would be concerned, and we have been told that if Roman Reigns was to return for the Extreme Rules show, to get a Universal title match against Braun Strowman, fans should expect the big dog to win the title ahead of SummerSlam 2020, where it is likely that Roman Reigns would be challenged for the gold at SummerSlam by The Fiend Bray Wyatt, the original storyline idea Vince had in mind before Reigns pulled out of WrestleMania. Let us know your thoughts on the rumors surrounding Roman Reigns' return, and do you think Roman should risk returning right now to essentially make SmackDown a bit more interesting as we get closer to SummerSlam, or would the WWE be fine continuing with Braun Strowman as Universal Champion? Thanks for watching The Sports Entertainer. Make sure you leave a like and give us your thoughts on the video, and also be sure that you subscribe for all of our daily wrestling content.
Wow. Whew. I have a feeling that July is going to get a lot crazy. So, I do hope that Roman Reigns does come back to the WWE, especially to SmackDown, because this would be interesting to see how this will play out. But then there's also rumors that he might sign up to AEW. I don't know. It is just a rumor, but that's what I've been heard. For Lana, well, it's not that I have against with her. It's just that's just the thing about it. She does much. I mean, hell, not once that she doesn't. Not putting her wrestling garb on and just compete. And yes, I know the fact that she and Rusev are still a couple, so leaving from the company, that may be considered the best thing because they're still married, and the fact that how that the company is just really giving shit on them. So I would say that's for the best. And for John Morrison, I hopefully that this is where that this will be his big moment, because it's nothing but a comical between him and Miz. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Mandy. Why? I got no words. All right, I got no words. But we'll see that all the speculations and the rumors become a reality for this coming month, and that's pretty much all I got to say. So thank you, Shadow, and this is where I'm gonna call it a night. But like I said, there are a lot of more requests that need to be taken care of for tonight. But for now, don't forget to smash those likes and also leave a comment down below. I'm Mighty Avenger signing out, but I will catch y'all in the next video. So peace out, everyone, and good night.